Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Delusional Daydreams podcast. I am your host, Ari Lou. And today I'm definitely doing things different. Like I said, I want to free flow things a little bit more. I did journal this morning to get some things off my chest, but I'm really just going to wing it and try and just let whatever has been bubbling inside of me kind of resurface and escape to allow some mental clarity to rush in, because this past week has truly been one of the harder weeks I've had since coming back home throughout this whole transition. Like, for a while, I really thought like I was doing really good, and maybe it really was beginner's luck on a new journey where, you know, things that weren't working in my favor ended up working in my favor beyond expectations, you know, with like getting my job that ended up having benefits, and then the bus schedule not working out in my favor, but then my dad investing in a car for me, and just things really aligning and making me feel like I'm on the right path. But this week in particular, there's just been a lot of things that have not only triggered me into having to take moments to step back, ground myself, remove myself from situations, take the time to process so I can move forward with more intention and not lash out and react in certain triggers and situations and circumstances. So there's been a lot of that. But then there's also been a lot of just things that are triggering me in nostalgic ways, and things that are making me look my karmic energy in the face. Things that have been giving me closure in a way that I wasn't expecting. And things that have just been making me really look in the mirror at not only my current self, but my past self, and all my past decisions, all my past mistakes and learning lessons, and things that I thought were over and done with and I'd paid the price, but it just feels like, you know, time truly is an illusion and everything is all happening all at once again. So there's just been a lot of things that have been forcing me, and I don't know if forcing is even the right word, but there's been a lot of moments where I have been faced with the opportunity to process things that I thought I had already kind of skipped over and processed in my own way. But as I'm looking at it, I never really had the opportunity to process them, because I truly did just skip over the emotional part and just move on to the next thing, because that's one thing I'm very good at. When there are things, and I've just been crying all week. There's just been a lot of tears to be shed, a lot of things to release that I haven't released, that I've been burying down. But one thing I'm really good at is when trauma happens in my life, or when kind of big things that would shake a lot of people's lives and probably haunt them forever and really end up dictating someone's way of moving through the world and how they act as an individual and who they are. When things like that happen to me, I tend to almost ignore them and pretend like they didn't happen, and just move on to the next thing and put myself in a new situation and adapt into something new and pretend like something didn't happen. And in a weird way, I always felt like that's how I processed things. But in a way, I'm learning right now that I never took the time to process a lot of things. And so a lot of emotions are resurfacing around things in my life that I didn't think I had an emotional attachment to or an emotional hold on. So it's just been a lot of processing. And through all this processing, I'm realizing just how imperative it is to process your shit. How imperative it is to not just keep busy all the time. To not just keep going. Like, yes, we want to maintain in that forward motion and look ahead at the light at the end of the tunnel in all scenarios. But it's so important sometimes to pause and to allow the feelings to be felt. And what are these feelings truly trying to tell you? Because I've just been placed into this overwhelming sense of pause, where it was just like, I was gung-hoing it and go, trying to catch up and trying to keep up with my projects and making sure I'm just getting my shit back together and regaining my independence and feeling like an adult again. But this last week, I've just been like halted. And in that halt, it's just this radical acceptance that even though I want to get the fuck out of here, I want to get the fuck out of my parents' house, and I want to truly move on to my desires of my independence and living on my own with my dog and living the life that I truly want to live, and outsourcing my resources in a way that's truly benefiting me in the way that I want to be benefited. In a weird way, these lessons that I'm being taught and these things that I'm having to go through, it does feel like a karmic price that I'm having to pay. And in this extreme halt and pause, it's like the acceptance of that, the acceptance of this karmic energy, the acceptance that all of this will make sense one day. Even though I can't see it right now, I am exactly energetically where I have placed myself to be and where I am meant to be in order for me to move forward in the way that I truly want to move forward. And I don't even know if any of that makes sense, because I'm trying to be super vague with everything, because a lot of the stuff that I'm going through this week is super personal. And that's really rare for me, because I feel like I'm definitely a TMI individual. I like to share the deep stuff about my life, but this week as I'm processing it, I don't know how to share it. I don't really know how to talk about it, and I don't really know how to process it. Because in a weird way, this is the first time I'm ever processing multiple somethings, this deeply. And through all of these triggers, it's been very difficult for me to not lash out. It's been very difficult for me to hold my tongue and to remove myself from certain situations, from certain conversations, from certain environments, from certain people. Because I want to just give back the energy that feels like I'm constantly being given. This energy of power struggles, this energy of, well, I'm right and you're wrong, which I feel like has been a lot of the energy being given to me, a lot of energy of trying to put me in my place, make me feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not wise enough, I haven't gone through enough, I don't know enough, and it's time for me to learn, and someone else is trying to put me in that learning lesson. And a lot of that energy that I've been getting, it's like my natural instinct is just to retaliate back with that same energy, with that same attitude. And it's so hard for me to hold my tongue. It's so hard for me to not stand my ground and in a way defend myself. It's so hard to just walk away. And I know that that's being the bigger person, is walking away, but in a way walking away when someone's giving you that energy, it makes me feel so small. It makes me feel like they're winning because I didn't have the opportunity to one-up them. But as I'm saying this out loud, me one-upping and me being the bigger person truly is me walking away and not coming at them verbally with my energy, but putting that energy back into myself and leveling up myself, leading by the example, showing what's truly possible when I take that energy that I just want to lash out onto someone else and put it back into me. And now that I've gotten so much closure and clarity this week in such an ironic way, this quote, "Life is ironic, but nothing is coincidence." My favorite quote. It's my quote. If you're wondering whose it is, it's mine. Life is ironic, but nothing is coincidence. Is that theory mine originally? I mean, I came up with it on my own, but I know as I've gone through my spiritual journey that, that is a divine nugget of wisdom that has been passed down through generation and generation. And I just started seeing it after I came up with that quote. It's actually in the book, The Alchemist, that I'm reading right now, which is, again, life is ironic, but nothing is fucking coincidence. But I've been getting a lot of closure this week on my radical acceptance and facing my circumstances head on and realizing that the only control I truly have in this world is myself and my energy and where I exude my energy. And slowing down is the answer for me right now. Slowing down into the acceptance. Slowing down into where I'm at in the now, in the present moment. And finding gratitude, even though finding gratitude is the hardest fucking thing to do right now. I have a lot to be grateful for. I'm very grateful. That things played out the way they played out in so many different instances of my life the past few years. Because if they didn't play out the way they played out, I wouldn't, in a sense, have the freedom that I have today, even though I look around and I don't feel very free. And I'm very grateful that I have a roof over my head and I have food in the pantry. Even though I do have to learn a lot of patience within myself with being back with my parents, and I don't have the choice of what food I'm currently eating and what I'm nourishing my body with. There's so much I could look at as far as that negative, but on that opposite spectrum, like I said, I'm so grateful because my situation could be so different and so much worse. And through all of this, I know I'm just growing into the person that I've always wanted to be and I've always desired to see myself become, because character truly is built through the rock bottom days and through those moments that are testing, through the moments that aren't working out in your favor or how you would desire them to be. And true happiness isn't life being picture perfect all the time and feeling blissful thoughts all the time. Happiness is finding that balance And being able to stay grounded and intentional within yourself and your energy through every single circumstance, good or bad. And good or bad is just a perspective. It's just the way you're viewing things. And I have so much more control of myself than I ever thought I did. Could it be better? Yes. It can always be better. I always have things to work on within myself. I'm not perfect. Perfect is an illusion. I strive to be better every single day. But one thing I'm learning within myself is truly like a lot of what I'm seeking within myself as far as moving forward with intention and gaining control of myself is found within moments of silence and solitude, and those moments that I do take a step back to ground myself. And I'm learning, like for so many years of my life, I was just constantly chasing the highs, constantly chasing the thrills, the new environments, the travel, the doing this, meeting these people, going on these excursions, these experiences, and just, with the alcohol and the drugs, just always chasing the things that made me feel good and would give me that rush. Because that made life worth living for me, was feeling that rush. But now I'm chasing the slow times. I'm chasing my grounded practice. I'm chasing the things that slow me down. Because in slowing down and in the silence, that's where my heart truly speaks to me, and I find so much more clarity in who I am, what I want to be doing in each and every moment, and what truly fills me and not just gives me that quick hit. It's amazing. I definitely feel like this chapter, this transition, and me stepping into this new me is me going from chasing all these thrills, all these highs, and all these experiences to me slowing down and settling in and allowing things to come to me. Because another thing that I was reminded of so beautifully this week is that miracles do happen. Miracles happen every fucking day when you least expect them, and the best miracles come to you. They find you. The ones that are meant for you, that are life-changing, that are aligned with who you are, they find you. And they only find you when you've accepted the grounded state of where you're at. And I know what I want wants me just as badly, and it will find me when I'm least expecting it, and when I've accepted and sat back into now and into my current circumstances. And I just have to have this delusional faith that it's coming. But I think that's all I have for today, folks. I don't know if any of that made sense. I felt like I was just rambling. Much needed cry needed to get out. I have been feeling this emotional bubbling inside of me of just needing to cry, needing to dance, needing to move shit out and not knowing exactly how to do it. And I'm glad I got this out today, because even if as I'm speaking right now, if none of it's making sense as I'm speaking, because sometimes when I do this, it truly feels like I'm blacking out a little bit. Like it feels like I'm speaking a different language, like nothing that comes out of my mouth makes any fucking sense. And then I watch it back and I'm like, oh, wow, that was awesome. I said that. But sometimes it's also hit or miss. But anyways, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me today. in sharing such a special moment of surrendering and accepting and feeling and processing. It truly is so special to share these little tidbits of moments that are so intimate with you. That's so special. So thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, month, year. We're counting down the days to the next year. How crazy is that? It's happening so fast, but yet at the same time so slow. It's like every day, I don't know, time has been slow but fast at the same time. I can't really grasp it. Like I said, time truly is an illusion, and I feel like I'm starting to grasp that. Anyways, until next time, Ari Lou signing out. Peace punch, Captain Crunches.